Let's bring in Republican strategist and public affairs expert Lauren Tomlinson, along with California GOP chairwoman Jessica Milan Patterson. Thank you both for coming on. Lauren, to you first. J.D. Vance made this point today to Fox's Grady Trimble. Watch.
Younger voters don't realize sometimes that Kamala Harris is the reason why they can't afford groceries and they can't afford housing. This campaign is going to drive home that difference between Trump's policies and Kamala Harris's policies. And I think once we do that, younger voters are going to come home.
And you don't really find Kamala Harris talking a lot about the economy. So is he making a fair point there, Lauren?
He is, because the fundamentals of this race have not changed. The Democrats switched the top of the ticket. They're enjoying a nice enthusiasm bump right now, and it's become tight again. But ultimately, this race ends up being a referendum on Biden-Harris over the past 4 years. Voters have to ask themselves how they feel right now in this moment about where they are with the economy, where they are with the cost of living, where they are with crime, immigration. These issues still remain the top issues on voters' minds. And even though Kamala today in Georgia was saying things like she wants to attack corporations and put caps on costs of living and other policies, I don't think that she can step away from how her policies with the Biden administration ended up increasing inflation. Yeah, that's exactly right. James Carville, by the way, said that they need to both defend and attack. Here.
Look, she's going to get slaughtered. They're coming out. They're coming, and this is just part of no different than it was any other time. And they have got to get up and get ready, and they've got to be able to defend and attack at the same time. And there's going to be a time of struggle of definition as to who Vice President Harris is.
I mean, the attack part seems pretty easy. They're doing that. It's defending their record they're having trouble with, Jessica.
Absolutely. They're going to try and make the American people put blinders on to what's happened over the last 3.5 years. You can't talk about the border crisis and fixing the border crisis without talking about illegal border crossings being up 140% over the last 3.5 years. You can't ask America to see what they're not seeing.
Yeah, I want to put this up. This is Nate Silver, 538, of course, his electoral college forecast. You see there, he's got President Trump, former President Trump, ahead 61.3. That's the percentage, the odds-on favorite to win the electoral college. Lauren.
Yeah, again, I think that this race is going to be very tight, and it's going to come down to a handful of swing states. And most importantly, the voters that the Trump campaign has been spending a lot of time doing outreach to, Hispanic and black men who are politically inactive. And it's just that 9% of undecided voters that are up for grabs right now. And I think that's why the Trump campaign and the GOP broadly has to remain very focused. They can't get distracted by some of these attacks or some of these other issues. They have to focus on the policy and where Americans are today and speak to those voters.
I mean, she talks about policy here, Jessica, and you think, why are they continuing with this weird thing? Oh, Trump's weird. J.D. Vance is weird. It's all weird, and everybody's on board with it. It seems like a losing battle.
Because you can't talk about the policies. If you talk about the policies, you have to talk about the failures of the Biden-Harris administration. And they're not willing to do that. They want to use whatever cool adjective they have of the week. The Trump campaign is being incredibly effective about talking about the policies that are affecting everyday Americans.
Any guess on Vice President?
No.
No.
And it also doesn't matter. They're going to be running against Kamala Harris and her failed record. It does not matter who she chooses as her vice president.
Same for you, Lauren. Any idea, any guess on who the VP choice might be for her?
I think she goes with Shapiro of Pennsylvania because her advisors are telling her to.
Okay. Lauren, Jessica, thank you both.